Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, the 2024 NBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. We're going to be kind of previewing the game. I'm just going to kind of give my reaction to the series and what I think is going to happen, kind of giving my opinion on who I think is going to win. Now, this is a very interesting series because we got two teams, Dallas Mavericks, who some people thought they were going to make it there. So a lot of people did not think they were going to make it there. A lot of people kind of had their money on the Mavericks or had their money on the Nuggets to get there. Some people thought maybe the Timberwolves could get there after they swept the Suns. And then you have the team of the Celtics that everybody's saying if you don't win the NBA Finals, it was a bust of a season. The storylines are being written, the players are ready to go, the coach is ready to go, everybody's well rested, it's time to go now. And by the end of the video, I'm going to give my prediction on who I think is going to win. Now, I did make a prediction on who I thought was going to win every single game of the NBA or playoffs a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, whenever the NBA Finals or playoffs actually started. I made my prediction. I'll put the video up there. In that, I actually predicted the Mavericks and the Celtics to go to the NBA Finals. Just want to throw that out there to let you guys know I got a big brain. So, without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get straight into this. So, if you're going to enjoy, as always, make sure you go ahead and drop a like onto the video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, when you look at the two teams, like I said, Mavericks and Celtics, what kind of storylines do we need to be looking at? Luckily, ESPN put this article out that they kind of have a lot of the storylines, a lot of different things that we need to look at for the series. So we're kind of go through and just review the entire thing. First up, we got the Boston Celtics. They go through and they list off everything whenever it comes to their ratings, their offense, defense, points per game, what they kind of stats they've been putting up, and what team last did it. And as we can see here, some of the stats they've been putting up last time that we've seen this kind of stuff was with the LeBron James led Miami Heat teams that won titles. Another storyline that we've been talking about throughout these playoffs is the fact that the Celtics have probably the key X factor for a chance of winning the NBA championship this year. And Kristaps Porzingis, that has been resting all playoffs, I believe with the knee injury, but he's been resting, he's been getting plenty of rest, and he's now ready to go for the NBA Finals. Moving over to the Dallas Mavericks, we have a team that is pretty much like everybody is healthy, everybody's ready to go, and like this team is just playing with high ass energy. Every single player on this team is playing with their hair on fire. Nobody's putting off a single second to sit down. Everybody wants to be on the court. Everybody wants to go out there and put in the minutes and put in the work and help the team win. We have a team where Luka Doncic, the star player, the MVP, has been battling a knee injury. I forget what they said, if it's like a sprain or what it is, like with the MCL or ACL or whatever it may be. He's got a sprain in his knee is what I've been kind of reading, and people have been saying he's just going to play through it. He's going to keep on going. The only way he's coming off that court is either when the series is done or if his knee just breaks. On the other side of the tandem of him and Kyrie Irving's been like his old self. He's playing like Cleveland Kyrie Irving. It's like whatever happened there in Brooklyn, and then him kind of whenever he got traded from Brooklyn to Dallas, it just seems like everything about him that it was in Brooklyn, he's just forgotten it. He put it aside, and now he's his old self again. And the way these two are playing, it's like Doncic is able to go out there and put up 30-something points, and Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, can also put about 30 points. Now, when it comes to the series, what's going to decide who wins the whole thing? And the one thing I think people need to realize is we're going to look at it as a whole 7-game series or 6-game, 5-game, 4-game, however long it takes. But I look at it as game by game. Each game is its own individual thing. We're going to look at each game and what kind of went on. Did turnovers impact the game? Did a player going off impact the game? Did a player you don't expect to go off win this game or win the game, and that kind of impacted it? Because game one, we might look up and see Jason Tatum put up 40, Jaylen Brown put up 30, Derek White put up 25, and the Mavericks are going to try to do everything they can, but they still might lose by like 20 points. And then in game two, the Celtics might go out there and have a lot of turnovers. Maybe Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have an off shooting night. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving still do their thing, and they end up coming away with a win or something like that. I think the biggest thing, and this might be a slept-on argument, but Jason Tatum has to be the guy that carries the team. The weird thing with the Celtics that whenever I look at them is when they win, it's not because of Jason Tatum. It's because of Jaylen Brown going off or Derek White putting up 25, 30 points out of nowhere. But when they lose, because Jason Tatum is already getting the blame because he's pretty much the star player of the team, and it's because he's only putting up like maybe 20, 23, 24 points. And yeah, that's good if you're a role player or like an underrated good player. He wants to be in the face. He wants to be up there in the names of face of the league, MVP. He wants to be a champion. Go be a champion and put up the big numbers. Like it is said again and again and again from all different people. Not just me, not just people on YouTube. NBA analysts, I think Kendrick Perkins, some people don't like him, but he's been saying it over and over again. And he's a Celtics fan. I think he's rooting for the Celtics in the finals against the Mavericks, but he's been saying, when is Jason Tatum going to show up and be the guy that takes over? And when I say take over, look at what Donovan Mitchell did with the Cavaliers. He takes over. Look what Jalen Brunson did with the Knicks. He takes over with the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards takes over. With the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, he takes over. A funny stat line I read, and this was fucking amazing. I think Bob Myers said it on the NBA Countdown during the Eastern Conference Finals, or like during the semifinals. There was a stat line that showed that Jason Tatum, throughout the entire NBA playoffs, until I want to say like game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, never made a second half 3-point attempt. In the second half of games throughout the entire NBA playoffs, till I want to say like game 2, he was like 0 for a million. And that was the funny thing with Jason Tatum. It's like in the first half, he's putting up numbers, he's bragging, he's yelling, he's screaming. It's like, yeah, cool, dude, but what are we going to do when we get to the second half and then you can't even hit a fucking 10-foot by 10-foot oval? Now, another thing that people have been kind of discussing about the Boston Celtics is their schedule of how they kind of got here. They played an injured Heat team, they played an injured Cavs team, and then they ended up having to play an injured Pacers team. Here's what I'll say to that. You can only play who's on your schedule. It's like you can't pick and choose who you play. They got the #1 seed. They were the best team in the league. They can only play who they're assigned to play. Now, I will say the Dallas Mavericks, they had a tougher schedule. That is 100% correct. In the first round, the Celtics, like I said, played a Miami Heat team that didn't have Jimmy Butler, and everybody on the team couldn't shoot the ball to save their life. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks went 6 games in a series against the Los Angeles Clippers that had Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and a lot of other decent role players, but not a lot of great players. But the fact that those 4 going against Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and Luka and Kyrie just smoked them. Then in the second series, the Mavericks, they ended up going against the #1 seed in the Oklahoma City Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They shut them down. Now, before any of you say, well, they could have went to Game 7 if Shai doesn't get called for that bogus 3-point attempt. One thing I think people need to realize about that game, at the very end, when the foul got called with, like, I want to say, like, 1.5 seconds to go, a Mavericks guy got the rebound down there and put the ball back up for a layup. So either way, I think Mavericks were going to win that game. But now that that's out of the way, they went on to the Western Conference Finals and played a Timberwolves team that everybody was like, holy shit, the fact that they just took down the Nuggets team that we thought was all going to win the NBA Finals, oh hell no. The Timberwolves are going to smoke them. Timberwolves, they are Anthony Edwards is a man on a mission. Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. If Cat keeps playing the way he's playing, oh, they're going to just dominate the Mavericks. Luka walked straight into Minnesota and said, Game 1 in the bag. Game 2, buzzer beater in front of Rudy Gobert to win the game. Get the fuck out of here. Game 2 in my bag. Went home for Game 3, got that one done. And then what happened in Game 4? Oh, yeah. The Timberwolves won that game and acted like they just won the NBA championship from that game and was like, well, at least we didn't get swept, ha ha ha. It's like, bitch, I'm going to smoke you in Game 5 in front of your home crowd. Now, kind of wrapping up what I think is going to happen in this series. I think it's going to be a good series. This one, there's a lot of people saying, could it go 7? I don't think it's going to go 7. I want to say in that video, whenever I made my playoff predictions, I said it was going to go 7. I might be retracting that statement. I think it's going to go 6. Celtics probably win in 6. But there's a part of me that also says the Mavericks could win in 6. I'm going to say this. If the Celtics win, it's in 6. If the Mavericks win, it's going 7. And it's going to be one of those types of series where Luka, the way he plays, he always likes when it's an elimination game, Game 5, Game 7, he wants to just bury you in the ground. And there is a part of me that says in a Game 7 scenario, Luka and Kyrie are going to go on one of these just boat races and just rampage the Boston Celtics, and they're going to just destroy them in a Game 7. Kind of like what we just saw in Game 5 with the Mavericks and the Timberwolves, and like we saw a couple years ago with the Mavericks and the Suns. It's going to be one of those scenarios. Now, the people that are saying that, oh, Jaylen Brown's not going to allow that. If Jason Tatum's off, Jaylen Brown's there. If Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both off, Kristaps Porzingis is there. They also got Al Horford, Derek Brown, Hauser, all these guys. I get it, Pritchard, they're all there. But what happens if one of them is off? And then another one is off? And then what happens if the Mavericks, this team that has been hunting on defense, can hunt the Celtics? Now, I do understand, my chest is not out. I'm not sitting here like as a Mavericks fan saying they're going to whoop their asses, they're going to beat them up. It's Mavs in 4. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is for the Celtics fans, don't be just sitting there in like jaw-dropping awe if you guys lose a game, 2 games to the Mavericks. It's going to happen. The Mavericks are going to steal some games. If the Mavericks get a game, whatever. If the Mavericks get 2 games, kind of be on the edge of your seat a little bit. But if they get a 3rd game, oh, you better be fucking scared. I'm still going to stick to my statement of what I said in the video. I'm going to say Celtics in 7. They're going to win in 7. My mind says Celtics in 7. My heart is saying Mavericks in 7. I want the Mavericks to win this finals. I really want to see Luka win a finals, get the finals MVP. But there's just something about it that says with how much the Celtics have in this team, there's just no way they lose, right? Because if they lose this finals, somebody's getting fired. Some people are getting traded. Something's going to have to happen because how do you lose? But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of this video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, do you agree or disagree with anything I said? What do you think about the NBA Finals? Do you like this NBA Finals? Do you think that the Celtics are going to win? The Mavericks are going to win? Whoever you think is going to win, leave a complete opinion down in the comment section down below. Be more than welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do poster and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified when I'm going to post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.